Hi guys, welcome back. I decided to work outside today. It's beautiful. It's a little bit breezy. I hope it doesn't interfere with the audio. And you can see the trees are starting to bloom. And this will go on probably till midsummer. It's really very nice. Today we're doing class 2. What I want to discuss are some of the supplies you're going to need other than pencils and books. It's one of the most popular questions that I get asked. What type of pencil are you using? What type of eraser are you using? So now I've gathered all the supplies that they're tried and true. I've been using them for a very long time, and I'm putting them together for you in a list. There are plenty of products out there. I'm not toting this as the only products. These are just the products I personally use. I've gathered all my stuff here, and we're going to start by categories. The first thing that everyone is going to need is a sharpener. I've said it before in the past, and I'm sticking by my opinion after all this time. You have a choice. You can use a handheld sharpener, or you can use an electric sharpener. I like the electric sharpener much better. I'm going to stay with my opinion that the worst one that I've ever used was the Prismacolor sharpener. Still to this day, it's still the worst. And what I don't like about the handheld sharpeners is that the blades do get dull, and they get dull way faster than what people will keep their sharpener around for. If the blades can't be changed, and there's some that you can, and there I would say they were okay as long as you are changing the blades. I've destroyed several pencils by having dull blades. So I'm speaking from experience and negative experience from using them. What I like about the electric, I use the Taiho brand. I love this pencil sharpener. It is my favorite. Back when I first did the review on it, I said it hopefully will last until I knocked it off my desk. Well, I want you to know that I've knocked this thing off my desk twice, and it still works as good as it did the day that I got it. And what's impressed me after all this time, this pencil sharpener is rechargeable. You just plug it into the USB, and it's like a brand new machine. I have only needed to charge this one time, and I've charged it a second time just for the heck of it because I thought, wow, it can't possibly not need to be charged. I've never run out of power, and I use this all the time. So I'm very, very impressed with their battery capability in addition to the way that it sharpens. Now, a lot of people say that when you use an electric sharpener, you eat your pencils. That's not true. People over sharpen their pencils. If you have a good electric sharpener, it's only doing the tip. It's not grinding down your pencils. This is a blending pencil. You only have to put it in a couple of seconds and then just twist it. It comes right out, and this is about as sharp as you're going to get it. It didn't take anything off the blender stick as it is, so I'm very impressed with that. I like that it's not completely clear and it's smoky, so that it doesn't really look gross when it fills up. I empty this, and it's very easy to empty. Top comes off, top goes back on very easily. So I'm very impressed with this. I can monitor how full it's getting, and I empty this pretty often. With my old one, I couldn't see. You had to open up the little cabinet that held the shavings, and I didn't like that. This, I have plenty of room for the shavings, and I could actually see what's collected in there and judge better when it is time to empty it. So there is really nothing I don't like about this. Again, it's the Taiho brand, and it has my seal of approval. The next item that is a must-have is your eraser. And I have several different types here to show you. The first one is the gummy eraser, and this is a soft, more like rubber clay, and it comes in blocks that look like this. Okay, very inexpensive. They'll run you maybe $1. They're the one that is the least recommended, almost to the point of saying it's not really necessary to have. It's nice to have, but not necessary at all. The only thing I could think on colored pencil would maybe if you made a layer too dark, you can lighten it up by squishing it and turning it. This is a necessity and the number one for graphite. Colored pencil, you can go with another choice. The next one is the Mono Zero by Bic. And this is a pen eraser, or a stick eraser. You just click and it comes out at the bottom. Very easy to change. You just pull it out. I'm not going to pull this one out because it's nice and in there. And it comes with replacement erasers. What this is very good at is getting rid of very, very fine lines. So if you go out of the line, just a little bit of this eraser and it does the job. This is nice to have, not 100% necessary, but nice to have when it comes to colored pencils. You can do some nice eye work with this eraser too. And this is good for hair when you want to do fine white details in the hair. Better than those is the electric. The one that I have is by Afmat. I love this. This is my top recommended one for brands. You don't have to replace the battery. It's rechargeable. The battery holds really for a long time. I think I've only had to recharge it a couple of times. The top is very easy to change. It just pulls out. I do recommend leaving a little piece of eraser at the bottom. It just goes right back into the metal. This is hard to do with one hand. And then pops right back into the eraser. Push the button and you're good to go. This is a little bit long. You might have to shave it down a bit. And usually what I do is I put it on a sanding block and I make a point out of the top. So it's not this big clunky thing. It also comes with an attachment for thinner erasers, which is 90% of the time what I'm using. And I just do it the same way. This pops into the top of this in the same way. And you're good to go. You don't have to make a point out of this unless you're doing really fine work. I would say 90% of the time it's left on the small. You can get replacement erasers, but it does come with quite a few. And I've never had to do any replacements. This is the original bag of erasers that I have. Number 3 is going to be blenders. What are you going to blend your papers out? Most of the time for me, I'm using a lighter shade of pencil. So I blend with my white. If I'm doing dark blue, I would go to the next shade under and blend with the next shade under. You always blend with a lighter shade. This works really well. I would say 80% of the time this is what I'm using is my white pencil. But there are other things that you can use. The next thing I would be using is a blending marker. This one is by Prismacolor. You have to just make sure that you keep your tips as clean as possible. This is stained, it's not dirty. And you just clean it on a paper towel until it runs clear. And this is almost like adding mineral spirits without the caustic effect of the mineral spirit. It comes with 2 sides, and here's the smaller side, and you saw the larger side. So this is a very good option, almost necessary. I would almost put this into the necessary category. Now there are 2 other things that you can use. There is the blending pencil. This is by Derwent, and I think I have one by Prismacolor here. I do. And this one's by Prismacolor. They're both basically the same. They're pencils with no pigment. And you just use them as a regular pencil over whatever pencil that you've used in a circular motion, lightly, and that will blend your color up. It's a lot easier for some people on their hands to use this. Probably the easiest would be the blending marker. There is another thing that you can use for blending, and it's blending powder. I'm not going to go into how to use it. I have another tutorial on how to use a blending powder. I use this the least amount. This is almost in the category of not really necessary, but it's something that you can have, and this one is by Brush and Pencil. It works well, but it's just a little bit more messy. Another really important item to have is a whitener. Colored pencils are really good at white, but if you want a sharp line, it just doesn't work well with the white. White can be used to blend an area, to highlight an area, but when you need that sharp white line, say in a highlight at the very tip or in the whites of the eyes, you have to think about a whitener. And I have several examples. The first one is the Uniball, and this is like a gel pen. I found that the Uniball works on colored pencil much easier than, say, a cheaper gel pencil because the tips clog up. So if I was going to use anything on the colored paper, I would go straight to the Uniball. My favorite white pencil is the Derwent. This is the Derwent Drawing Chinese White, and it's Derwent makes several of these pencils in different formularies where they would call it Chinese white. This is the one, the drawing pencil. It's very, very creamy. There's one that's hard. This one, the drawing pencil, is creamy. My go-to white and my go-to black are both Derwents, and this is ivory black, and it's also under the drawing pencil. And this is the Chinese white. You can see I go through these a lot. Now, if you were lucky, and I'm saying lucky, and willing to pay, the top white pencil, in my opinion, are the Holbein. Very hard to get, very expensive, if you can get it. And they have two different ones. One is the regular white, and the other one is the soft white. If you have your druthers and you find them, go with the soft white. It is by far the best white pencil that there is. Unfortunately, you can't get them. They're not sold in the United States. You have to find somebody that will actually import them to you. But I had to mention it in case, oh, but you said in the past you like this. Yes, I do, but you can't get this. Brush and Pencil also has a titanium white. With this, you're going to need their liquid binder, and this, you mix it up in a little cup. It's a little bit more work, but it's very opaque. There are easier things to use, but this is really white. My top whitener, of course, probably most colorists, is the Posca. This is an acrylic pen. It works great. You can hear the little ball. Make sure it's mixed up really well. And I'll leave a link to my tutorial on how to use it. This is a must. This is on the must list. The rest, it's nice to have. It's nice to have one of these. It's not necessary. These are necessary. Which sealing spray I use is probably asked by everybody who sees me sealing something. And I have a couple of favorites. Rust-Oleum Clear Enamel and the Gloss Clear. They're okay. I sent my father to the store to get sealant, and I told him Krylon, and he came home with Rust-Oleum. Not much of a difference, but I would say by maybe a margin of 10%, I like the Krylon workable fixative and the spray seal. The workable fixative can be worked on again. So you seal, and then if you want to change something in the future or you want to do something to it, you still have the ability to work over it, but it does seal it in. The only thing is you can't change anything once you seal it. So you seal it, and whatever's underneath is sealed in. You can't erase it, but you can draw on top of it. So it's like a tooth extender that you can put more on. The seal spray, which I use, I happen to like for a matter of taste. I like the gloss. Does come in matte, probably comes in every finish. It's all a matter of taste, and I don't like one over the other. Just my personal one is gloss. That I use on all my pictures. I've sprayed directly into my book. So you just cover up what you don't want the spray to get on, and it doesn't sink through. It sits on the top. It works really well. Gives me a nice shine, almost like a glass-like finish. The last thing I want to show you is not 100% necessary, but I'm highly recommending it. It's some sort of magnification device. Now, there's plenty out there to choose from. They're all kind of the same. I have two different types. One, I have a handheld magnifier, and that's good if I'm just going to grab it. But there's another one that comes from, well, this one is Mighty Sight. It just happens to be the brand that I bought. I did find a better one and a better price on Amazon. I'm going to leave links in the description for you of where I get them because I do a lot of shopping. Really do. They are affiliate links. They don't cost you anything if you click on the link and you purchase something. It doesn't affect you at all. It does support the channel. This was a little bit more expensive because I actually bought it from the Mighty Sight site. I found the identical ones, and these are magnification glasses. They go over your glasses, and as you could see, they light up. So that really helps a lot, and you don't have to hold anything. And what I liked about this one versus some of the other ones is that these are rechargeable. So it comes with a cord. You plug it into your USB and you're good to go. It came with a nice case and a little pouch for the wire. This is this brand. As I said, identical glasses at a better price than I paid. I just got excited when I found these. I think it's 1.6 magnification for this, and then if you wear readers, you could put it right over the readers, and it really works well. So these are the things that I recommend for you. Some of them are necessary. Okay, you need a whitener, you need a blender, you need a fixative spray. You really do need a magnification device, something that you can get into the corners with, because believe me, you do miss. The people in our community are getting older. We need that little extra as far as our sight. And even if you're younger, you can't see everything. And so as I said, these are the things that I do use myself. I recommend them. That's my lesson for today. And my vlog is coming up next, and it's a doozy. We had a little bit of excitement around here. So I will see you in the vlog. Take care. Good night.